Minasan, Ohio Konnichiwa, Oyasumi. I'm Iris, and today we are finishing up the first episode of the Calamity series. We basically finished all the introductions, and most likely we're going to be talking about, everything everybody has been through. We all got together, we're all at the party, and most likely we're going to speak about the dream, the relic that the detective found, and the golden ring, trying to get information about someone who did some type of, like, I guess similar to the spell that the Matron of Ravens did to take over for the Lord of Death. So we're just gonna put all our brains together and figure this out. So let's just get right into it.
It's a momentous day on a lot of fronts, but I feel like there's news to share.
Yeah, let's get down to business.
Me, of course, I hear nothing, but I'm curious to know what the news is, so that
Before we do, though, perhaps a toast to our friend Xerxes as his first...
Oh, that's right.
First night of Avalier going into a replenishment.
Oh, promotion.
Last night.
I had a drink, it was taken back. Thank you. I would like to toast those that are not with us as well. To Exandria, who should be here in this place, in this position of honor, and who would have been handling that entrance with a lot more grace than I certainly did. But thank you all, my friends. I appreciate
Who
you.
is that? Is that his husband or somebody else?
Well, let's hope so. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to cut through the pleasantries. I'm not in the best of state, and I almost didn't come, but something feels amiss to me.
Yeah, after that vision.
I've come here to actually stick out the two of you.
Hold on. Oof, been a minute. And I take that like lethargy effect where I'm like, hold for 6 seconds. Okay, sorry, what was it?
Just magically refill Aaron's glass of champagne.
Ooh.
I had a bit of a nightmare of sorts last night, I suppose. Maybe it's my anxiety for coming home. Maybe it's some nerves that I have from reuniting with my son. But it shook me. And
Did they say the last
I
time you
didn't know
seen
what
his
else to do
son?
but to come and tell you about it. Exandria was in my dream, and in it there was a fight of some sort between, I can only say, the gods.
So it is the gods.
The father of Dawn seemed to be trying to extinguish what I can only say was one of the betrayers.
Oh,
Does this mean anything to anybody other than just perhaps bad dream?
It seems like they not.
Sounds silly to me.
Yeah, I'm about to say, it don't seem like they
Dreams can be deeply
believe in that.
interpretive, Xerxes. I mean, perhaps it is your anxiety of the two colliding forces of Avalier reuniting.
Felt. I understand, and the gods don't mean much to me. But one was begging me for help.
One of the gods.
The fallen one. The betrayer.
And isn't the betrayers the ones that
they're all
wanted
behind.
to kill their
They're
creation?
not here, though. Not like the others that walk around. I know you know that. Just...
I know that.
What did this betrayer look like?
He was red. Had a horn. In his head. I think maybe...
Dang, I don't remember how he explained them either.
I couldn't remember if it was because of the way he was lying down, but I just recall seeing the side of his face and maybe one horn. Maybe if there was another one, maybe it was broken off. I'm not sure. I'm not remembering it so clearly. But
To
I
be
do remember
expected from a dream.
something that was said. Gordranus. Who here speaks Draconic?
Right here.
I do as well. Throw it up, let's go.
Ah.
I knew you would. The Gathering of Shadows. Gordranus.
That sounds very ominous.
It doesn't mean anything to you right now. Anyone here who would like to may roll. You can roll history. You can roll Arcana.
Gathering of that's
or
like
if you have, are listening to your very troubled friend who you know is in a state of emotional turmoil and just want to roll an insight if you're not about.
Is that history or
Arcana, if you're like, okay, let me take him seriously, or insight if you're like, I want to.
I'll do
12 for history.
12 for history.
I mostly think it's emotional, but I will think about, like, these words feel more, like, relevant.
Yeah.
Which would you want from that?
If you're thinking about the words themselves, any of those intelligence skills, I would take religion, Arcana, or history.
I'll do Arcana then.
Do Arcana, yeah.
26 on insight, and I just want to glean if he's really shook by this or if he's talking about something else.
Ooh, 29.
No,
on
he
history.
should.
Let's go.
He had a freaking
22
dream
on
journal.
Arcana.
Also 22 on Arcana.
29 history, 22 in Arcana.
26 on insight.
26 insight. Okay, so for our, we'll start with the 22s on Arcana. Gordranus is it's Draconic. You would know from the Arcana check there that the term Gordranus, it is like the literal meaning is gathering of shadows.
That sounds
Words
like
have
they're gathering an army or
connotations, right?
forces
and
or
that's one of the hardest
something.
things when you're adopting a second language is to learn
The
like,
nuance.
idioms, and it's like, what's the if you don't speak English, what's the difference between a hearty welcome and a cordial reception? Emotionally, like those words don't land the same. Dragons aren't scared of much. Gordranus, those words mean. The connotation is an intense one. It's the kind of words that dragons would use to describe something they were scared of.
Okay.
Oh, that has to be really
with
bad
a
then.
29 history check, an incredible history check. The name Gordranus comes to you from a very specific place in history. It's an ancient text from the Schism. This is a text from when the primordials. So there's a lot of stuff about the Schism in the Librarium Incantatum, right? Because the founding of Toromunda has its root in the Schism, right? The Toromunda was founded when the Emperor of Fire and the Empress of Earth, that were two mighty primordials, were laid low and sealed forever away by the Dawnfather under Mount Igora. And it was in the guise of that mountain that eventually the druids of the Galdrashari came and built Toromunda, tending to this holy place, and over time those druids tended to it so well that other people came and sought them out, and then eventually it grew into a city, and that city
Interesting.
eventually attracted wizards, and those wizards eventually took the top of that mountain and sailed away. But the name Gordranus from the early Schism, because in the Schism there were dragons fighting on behalf of the prime deities, there was a threat made in the epics of one of these battles during the Schism by the betrayer gods, attributed to different ones in different texts, but the text that at least, well, who knows, reliable, but the most detailed text that you remember from your encyclopedic knowledge of all of the scrolls of your library and all the tomes therein, is that it's all attributed to the Lord of the Hells. And it is.
So is that who he saw?
Gordranus is. It's just a very specific wording that he said in the battle of his defeat in the Schism when he was sealed away, where he said, like, "Put me where you will, in darkness I will gather my shadows to me."
Oh yeah, definitely a threat.
And Gordranus, and Draconic, the literal. So you're like, oh, that's some like specific verbiage. It's again, 29 is a super high roll, so that's you going like, well, that's literally where I've seen the words before.
Right. It's like pulling a certain phrase out of
Just a
the
keyword.
Shakespeare
Yeah.
And not one of his popular ones.
Yeah, it's like just keyword search. There you go. And then for that 26 insight.
Yeah, he's seen so much. How shook is he compared to his life experience?
This Arcana stuff, you know people. That's what you do. You
Yeah,
find
detective,
you are a detective. You solve mysteries.
He can read people, so
Xerxes barely could stomach walking into a room and getting attention.
That's
idea
true.
That this dude
so he wouldn't draw attention to this nightmare.
would pop off on a, like, I had a dream that scared me, to his, like, peers, unless it was the realest shit in the world, is laughable. In fact, I would say my 26 insight, and you can roll deception against it if you want, but if you were trying to be honest in this moment.
I'm not hiding anything.
You know the fact that he's telling you about this dream means there's 20 before that he didn't tell you about.
That
Like, the
makes
straw's
sense.
already broken the camel's back.
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell that there's something that was being contained that now can't be contained anymore. And it's gotta come out. I don't know what it means. And I'm coming to you because normally taking to the skies will clear my head, and I can't get this out of my head. And I saw my son in the dream, and he was 5, which I know he's not now.
It is interesting that
how old is he now?
his son and husband
He's
were brought into this.
13. Okay. He'll be 14 in a month and a half. And I don't know what he looks like.
Oh, that's right.
That's-
I haven't seen him since.
I haven't seen him in 7 years.
Yeah, that's
Was
crazy
the last
to
time you saw him
not.
when he was 5?
No, he was about to turn 7.
Oh, okay.
It's the last time I saw him briefly, but look, I don't want to. I don't. I know that there's other matters that we have to attend to, but I just wanted to gather your thoughts. If any of this means anything to either of you.
I recognize the phrasing. Pesha explains what the DM just explains. Perhaps this vision of the devil-looking man, maybe he was the Lord of the Hells. Maybe you're having some sort of deeper connection with that moment in the schism.
Maybe. And I don't know, as a father, maybe it's just some anxiety that I have over my son.
Could be. Maya's 7 now. Kira's 5.
Is his kids
It's strange that you mentioned where the shadows
with him?
gathered. There was a crime scene that was reconstructed from Vasselheim. Some of the language and symbols that were used there were both celestial and infernal.
Oh yeah, we bringing everything to the table.
Strange to see both. Not my thing, but unusual.
This is recent?
Very recent. You remember that, of course, Matron ascended. Many tried to duplicate.
Sure, yeah. We've told that story.
Yeah, it was usually just oval SpaghettiOs all over the wall.
This is the second time Vasselheim has come up in conversation for me today. I was hoping to actually ask you about it, but
Go ahead.
it seems there was some sort of happenings. I heard rumor through the grapevine that there were some artifacts stowed away here in Avalier from Vasselheim.
They mentioned that someone from the
So-
Reign of Silver was asking about them, and I could only assume that was you.
I'll say, you not only have heard about people in the Ring of Silver talking about this, Loris was from the Ring of Gold.
Yeah, which makes it seem like I'm pretty sure a lot of people tried to recreate what the Matron of Ravens did. So for them to be interested in this specific situation.
Who did you speak with about this? It only raises my suspicion because normally these things are passed off as a copycat. Someone trying to do what someone else has done with dire effect. But the remnants of this attempt, things don't quite match up. Certain things that are left behind weren't left anywhere.
Does any of this spark my memory or any thoughts of something that would be familiar?
I would add this. Usually if it's a failure, not a lot of people are interested in things that don't succeed. But where there's success, or some remnant of it, that can draw a different crowd. The Ring of Silver, caring about this.
Well, as you know, the library in Cantatum has a deep vested interest in any type of extraterrestrial knowledge.
But stuff that actually makes
dangerous people.
It's gonna be stuff that works though, right? It's not gonna be every attempt.
Perhaps it's just timing. I think there are a lot of things that have to line up in order for something like this to work.
But it wasn't successful. Most of these, as
How
you
you
said,
know?
aren't.
I wouldn't be the one to weigh in on that, but
How would you know about it if there wasn't something left over? Like, if there was nothing, then no one would know that anything had happened. So there's something. Is there something?
indeed, and I didn't want to detract too much from champagne, but okay, there's a bow.
You have somewhere to
I
be?
pull out from behind my cloak, tucked in between where my wings are, the half of this rusted patinaed bow.
Can I look at it?
You sure can.
You can.
You?
I also wanted to get Zerk's eyes on this, but I said, take it, okay.
Yeah.
She took that a long time ago.
I look at Nidus as well, just knowing that he has seen many an artifact.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it as well.
Hell yeah.
I'm sure approaching.
Do whatever roles you want to do, and if you want to do something like angled towards like whatever kind of role it is that you want to, whatever you're looking for specifically. But yeah, you see a piece of badly corroded metal, pretty heavy to the touch, and again, it feels in a place full of so much magic a little bit extra mundane, if that makes sense. Go ahead and give me Arcana rolls or Investigation rolls, or if you want to do some magic about it or use some class
Well, that
features,
means
I'm also
it's
down
some
for that.
I'm gonna divine sense.
high level magic to hide
Cool.
whatever it is, because it can't be
The
normal.
experts handle this.
Hell yeah.
22 Arcana, and I guess I'm more interested in the bow itself,
Yeah.
origin, like the actual magical item, its origins, less what happened to it afterward.
Hell yeah.
I got a 24 in Arcana, inspecting it with the eyes of someone who runs the engine that breaks down magical artifacts constantly to like fill the
As
batteries.
she's sort of looking at it, I'm just gonna do something that I've done to her hundreds of times
Oh,
for known
gosh.
a while, and just sort of
Oh.
gently rub her shoulder and inspire her.
You want to throw some bardic inspiration on that roll? Go for it.
Alright, when you make contact, I think a little bit of her perfume kicks up, and it smells like a silver and violet and petrichor, which were the flowers at our wedding.
Aww.
So you get a D10.
Oh my god, thank you! I'm all good. Okay, a 5.
Adorable.
Hell yeah. 29, incredible. Okay. So there is a moment. I think both of you are looking at this, right? And studying it for a moment. And I think Xerxes, you say the thing that kind of cracks it, where you do your divine sense and give everyone a hand into this. You're not used to seeing something like this, but the first thing you pick up as you guys start to inspect it, is for something this mundane. You've never experienced something like this. You reach out with your divine sense. It's non-magical. It's a rusted scrap of metal. And normally, things divine presence kind of keeps a pace of their magical signature. This thing is utterly non-magical. So you're like, well, I might get like a whiff of something. Powerful divine energy, specifically celestial.
Oh, he like.
Put it down, 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 put it down. Put it down. There's something's going on with this. I'm sensing a very powerful celestial energy inside of it.
Oh my gosh. Not
Magical shit all day long.
I don't think that's magical.
let her do her thing.
You don't want to argue with her. She'll or she'll say she did.
Well, then put your eyes back on it and tell us what you see.
As you look at it with that arcana, we'll come to 29 first. So the first thing, because I think you also get a piece of information from Nidus. Nidus, you take a set of like master like tools out of your thing. You hit this with like a tuning fork that you have that you use for it to like okay, it's rare metal. What's the metal? It makes a weird note on the metal on the fork, the one you go for the most often, which is gold, right? It makes the right noise, but there's a weird tenor to it. And as you look at it, you look over the fragment of this bow. This bow was at one time 12 feet tall.
Wow.
You can guess exactly what this is because
Wait,
all of you watch
what?
this, like listen to this tuning fork.
So then it's no
is
way
made of
that's
gold.
a normal.
But it's not made of gold from any mine on Exandria, because this is gold wrought from the heavens themselves. This is extraplanar.
So
gold.
is this from a god?
What
then?
your dear friend Laren is holding is the former bow of a solar, which is a type of angel. It is like the highest angel's direct servants.
Have you ever seen anything like this before, or
You have to go through a process of elimination in your head to get here. There are jokes
An
from
angel.
like back when you were on like a pirate crew back in the day.
So I guess it
like,
makes sense
there
that
were
some type of
jokes about
divine
different
magic
kinds of
could
gold. And
wipe
someone
the
used to
energy
talk
where people
about
can't
there
tell
was
what it
some
is.
cleric that like ended up being captured by the ship briefly before they could get like ransomed back off to their clergy. That was talking about like bows of pure gold wielded by solars, and a bunch of pirates would like laugh about like if I could ever get my hands on a bow of pure like. So in your head you're like, this is extraplanar gold from a bow, and just you're
He's probably
familiar
freaking
enough
out.
with all objects of great value that you're looking at the curvature and you're like, this if you complete this curve, it only makes sense in a bow.
if it goes for another 6 feet?
Yes. Right, exactly.
I think you guys watch Nidus hit this thing, and just for the next minute, it's just banging.
He's like, nah, can't be.
Incredulous.
Oh my gosh.
Nidus! This is of the heavens themselves. This is the bow of a solar. 12 feet in length. Pure celestial gold.
With that information, on a 29, you put together the pieces that you've been given. Do you think that Sarah would have shared the forensic stuff from before about the nature in which this was dispelled?
Yes.
Laren, you look at this. This, as Nidus speaks, and you know exactly what to imagine in this place, you realize the reason you have a fragment is that the bow at its center must have been shattered. And the only thing I can say is that incredible arcana, as you feel as tough as the last few years have been, the reassuring presence of Loquacious nearby, who is himself more than a mortal man, you look at this thing and realize it was shattered, in your head you immediately go to Mage's Disjunction, ninth level spell, something that could have destroyed that. You look and look and look at this. You know how to look for the residue of a spell. This, first of all, the bow of a solar could not be dispelled by a mortal mage. And not only that, you think that this wasn't a spell. Something deeper and older and more profound than a spell happened. You know for a fact that nothing Vespin Chloris did or ever could have done what happened to this.
Wow.
So the question that your mind immediately goes to is, Vespin didn't do this, so who did? Because when he tried whatever he tried, perhaps very quickly there was someone or something else in the room with him. And its mere presence took the weapon of one of the heaven's mightiest warriors and shattered it without effort.
Two things happen sort of simultaneously. Even as Laren explains that to the group, she begins to pocket it harder. And I want to ask you, the rules for interplanar travel usually require a bit of metal, something that you can attune to where you're headed.
Yeah.
Would this count?
It has lost all of its innate magic, but spell components rarely need to be magical. This would absolutely work for that.
And I think even as she explains it,
So they're saying,
is very
I'm
fearful.
confused. Are they saying somebody use this to do the spell like the
what
matron
could be
of
powerful enough to do this right
Ravens?
away? She can't help but smile. But she has the last thing that she needs.
Oh, she's trying to make this about herself.
Announcing the champion of the Matron of Ravens, Pervan Su!
Did they just say,
You see? What?
oh, dude, we seen in Vox
You
Machina?
see?
Important figure. The reaction to the table.
Parts the ivy a little bit so we get a good look.
Oh my gosh.
You see, walking through the doors of the Palazzo Porco, a young man, long dark hair, light brown skin, severe, grave expression on his face.
This guy.
And you see, he's got a wolf with him. Walks into the party and hush goes over the gala.
Wow, so this is who they were talking about.
In
at
this
the
age of Arcanum, a champion of the gods has walked in. What a quaint and wondrous thing to behold. The man who walks in bears terrestrial mud on his black leather boots. He walks in the stoic countenance of a ranger, and you see beside him a black and gray wolf stride in. He looks around sullenly. A mantle of raven's feathers around
Wow.
his neck.
Is that like how
Armored,
Vax's armor
You
is?
do not see him clad in armor.
Oh, interesting. Oh, of course. Oh, shit. Okay, sorry.
Hey, why would any kind of special armor be needed in this wonderful age of Arcanum?
Sure. He's just a guy.
He's just a guy. Walks in, and you see this young man walk in. I will tell you, out of game, truly, this guy's probably 7th or 8th level. He doesn't. He's not glowing with tons of. He's not.
You don't know who he is?
No.
Ah, okay.
This guy got requested from somebody. You see that Madara Glyph walks up and approaches your table and gestures to you, Xerxes, and he says, my lord, Sir Ilres, my apologies. I wish to introduce you. There's quite a curiosity here. A terrestrial champion of the matron of ravens has arrived, and I wished for him to meet Abalir's
Yes, of course.
first night.
I will be right there. One moment, please.
Very well.
I don't want to show that we're so earnest.
Of course, I meant only to say because he himself is a champion of the Raven Queen,
Yes.
and of course our champion draws on divine source without, of course, needing any deific intermediaries. So
I will make sure that he is aware of my presence.
And she
Oh my.
she wanders off.
Can I snap for 2 habadabs?
Yeah.
Clean the man's boots. This is the parts of Porco.
His face was frowned up that whole time.
And you see, they issue habitats. So you see this guy walk in, look around kind of sullenly at everyone here, and 2 brightly colored magical scarecrows come up and start mopping his feet. And he goes, I beg your pardon. And he starts to like move. You see the Galdrick like snarls at the Hadmadads, but also Galdrick is like, do I bite this suit of empty clothing that's floating around?
Well, this is such a weird turn of events. We've got God stuff going on left and right here. Now there's a God guy in your house. And here's my takeaway from all this. I don't know how it's all related, and I'm desperate for you all to figure it out. But
Right, y'all figure it
new
out.
Sponsors
Yes.
Oh my
is
gosh.
the Market of Wonders, and maybe I could get them to sponsor like a 2 or 3 article series about how the gods are among us or something like that. The wonders of the gods meet the Market of Wonders or something like that. I don't know. I'm spitballing. I'll keep working on it. You guys figure out the nitty gritty of the connections here.
He's trying to figure out.
Something. But there was something, the celestial, the prophecy sort of sensation you're describing in your dream does make me wonder about, should we consult with the Hall of Prophecy?
Hall of Prophecy.
The Hall of Prophecy, I mean, the oracles there might be able to help illuminate some of the meaning of your
Well, I
dreams.
heard they're taking a little 24-hour respite because they're tired or something.
I didn't hear that. Why didn't I hear that?
I don't know. Actually, I was going to ask you there, and they heard they're just not responding.
Laren's trying to cram that bit of metal into her clutch.
Wow.
Tiny bag.
To Loquacious and Laren, it's strange that you haven't heard that the Hall of Prophecy is closed.
That's very weird.
So it is closed.
I mean,
Or
I haven't heard anything else.
I was just like, I don't understand why they can't just wait another 24 hours till after the replenishing to take their little vacation.
They're also the prophets. When they take a day off, they would know about it in advance.
Precedent for that? Has that ever happened before?
There is no precedent for this.
Oh wow.
All right, well.
Well, we should probably go and check it out.
Yes, we should.
Us ourselves?
Well,
yes, I mean,
Well,
they
I-
have a lot with regards to
Yeah.
replenishment
We
and
should.
other things, so...
Yeah, it seems like it's very suspicious.
Well, I want to go and have a word with this champion at least.
Oh, yes.
so do you need some backups? Do you need
I
some-
would like some extra eyes in
Yes,
case
well,
you notice
yeah.
something that I don't.
We'll all stand nearby, kind of in a loose circle.
Loose circle.
Let's surround him. actually.
Oh my gosh, y'all gonna intimidate him?
Yes. Yes.
Don't break eye contact.
I wouldn't mind knowing who invited him in particular, unless you know, patient.
So he's a guest of a member of the Silver Ring, Mage, Magistrate
Yes.
Hollow,
Or this is the Dean Lycretia Hollow.
Jean Lucretia Hollow.
Oh, yes.
Jalo, and what is their area?
Necromancy.
They are the Dean of the Throne of Necromancy.
Okay. Well, of course, that would be the one to invite him.
Mm.
I'm going to then step outside of our little field.
as you all go over to approach, I mean, it is a curiosity, certainly. You see Lycretia Hollow along with Madara Glyph and the Magister Micah Cormorant, Speaker of the Fourth, have all sort of gathered around this young man, Pervan Sul. And as you approach, you can hear the Magister say, "Surely some great distance traveled on foot, no less. I can't imagine. It's quite a journey. And how long have you sworn this devotion to the Radiant Eminence, the matron of ravens?" Pervan looks out and goes, "Many long years have passed in the service of the Raven Queen, my mistress. I have come to speak.
I wonder how long she's already been
divine to the Sectarian."
the matron of Raven.
Of course you have.
Us.
You see that there is a ruffle of polite laughter, and this guy looks pissed and sad at the like look of sort of derision. You see, he says, he's like, "I understand that the Septarian is the ruling council of Avalier. Is this not correct? My understanding is that a number of artifacts may have been brought herein to the city." You see, everyone sort of looks around and confused at each other. He says, "The Septarian is what I must speak with."
I'm going to approach and try to break this up. And
I was about to start talking shit, so that's good.
And I kind of got there in time to overhear some of this, and Xerxes is kind of stroking his beard. He has a beard, and in the front there's like one tightly braided, longer kind of lock. And he's kind of stroking that as he's taking in this champion, and steps forward and he says, "Champion of the Matron of Ravens, yes?"
You see, he bows his head respectfully to you. First Knight of Avalier.
First Knight of Avalier, yes. Shall I escort you away from your audience?
You see, Madara looks and says, "Sir Ilris, please, listen,
I think Madara.
Oh,
sorry." And you see that she looks off. Pervan looks at you and says, I appreciate the offer. I would ask if, I know that you serve the Septarian directly. You see, as
he wants to get a meeting.
Galdrick kind of nuzzles up against his leg. You see that as Madara goes silent, Magister Cormorant speaks up. And you see, he says, "Champion Pervan." And you see Pervan looks over and says, "You may refer to me simply as Champion." And you see that, he says, "Well, I think it quite telling that you should know that our first knight, Xerxes, is a wielder of divine magic.
Don't air out all my business.
With no devotion to any
They trying to
deity to speak of. He has mastered the ability to call upon the divine simply as a champion of the people."
It's like they're trying to brag about something that they don't.
Gervin, and just wanting to see how all of this lands on him. I'm not even looking at the magister that's talking.
Pervan is sort of taking it in. You can make an insight check if you want, yeah.
Sure. 17.
You can see Pervan is deeply uncomfortable and does not wish to be here. You see that Magister Cormorant simply says,
Basically saying their knight is better than he is.
"I simply think it interesting. You know, there's been so many upheavals in recent history. You yourself, the champion of a new deity, and our champion not needing a deity whatsoever." And you see there's sort of some polite laughter. You see Lycretia Hollow looks over at you, Paisha, and says, "It is so striking, champion, that the matron of ravens ascended to the heights of divinity, but saw fit to, of course, erase her magical research. We live in an age in which knowledge, as our Keeper of Scrolls can attest to, is shared. It seems rather interesting that the greatest arcane achievement of the age would be erased. Feels somehow
Of course you erase it.
not in the spirit of the age.
So then everybody can do what she did. Everybody
This
can
is,
take over.
Dean Hollow of the
That makes
College of
perfect sense that she would do that.
Pervon looks out and says, I do not care for this conversation, nor to continue it.
It's the only conversation you're going to get, so maybe you pipe up.
The knowledge won by my mistress was hers and hers alone.
Exactly.
Hers to do with what she willed. And she
It's like
did
they're
what she
mad
willed
that they think
in
that
her
they
ascension
have
and in the acts to follow.
a right to what
I
she worked
serve
for.
the goddess of death. And you see he turns and walks
Like, oh, they're
away,
better than her,
and you hear
and yet they want her
Dean
information.
Hollow call out, she is still one of us, though. Is she
No.
not? And he stops here. Says, she was one of us. She does
Was.
remember from whence she came. It is not their world any longer. Why would she not welcome us behind her? Pervon leaves the room.
Can I start applause?
Now it starts applause, and the entire
I use applause to mask a message to Pervon, and I say, if you wish to hear more, meet in the room behind the vines.
amazing. Cool. Pervon leaves in the direction, Xerxes, that you pointed.
Great.
What is everyone doing right now? Like, in this sort of applause, as the Dean of the College of Necromancy effectively claims a member of the Prime Deities as still being on the home team.
Laren is going to like start walking for the door, but I do use my my bracelet to send this sending to Knight S. I need 4 automatons in the heart right now. I have what I need, and I have very little time.
Oh.
Did she really take the bow piece?
Yes. Night is buzzing. Who's the? I grab a Hamadam. And I just write down 4 automatons to heart this instant. This needs to be in the hands of Alessandra as quickly as possible.
Right, you are, sir. He rolls into a ball of fabric and flies out the window. Just like flattens himself to be just like a like pane with kind of magic carpeting off, and takes off into the city. Laren, you head off to the heart of the city, I assume. Incredible.
Walking out?
I'll send you a sending on the way out that just says thank you and take off.
Incredible. So I need to do it because it seems like there's a big moment at this party. People are scattering.
Yes.
There was some talk about the Hall of Prophecy. Pervon is still sort of like walking away in a state of religious offense, right? So you're heading to the heart. Where else is everybody
I
headed?
do want to ask Dean Hollow one
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
After he sends off Pervon in a huff, I'll just step up and say,
Or is it, sorry, like Lucretia Hollow is a woman.
oh, sorry, Lucretia Hollow, thank you. Yeah, I'll just approach and say, well done. You represent the city well. I find it strange that you would care so much about anyone replicating what the matron did. No one has ever come close to such a feat, correct?
Trying to get that info, huh?
Give me an insight check.
Let's go.
23.
Wait a minute. What's your plus to insight?
13.
Cool. So she looks at you and says,
Actually, I have a. Wait a minute. I have.
yeah, she looks at you and says, I'm sure I haven't the faintest idea. And the ring on your hand glows.
Pulses.
Oh my god!
Let's go.
Cool as fuck.
So is she lying?
There it is. There it is. Fair. Very fair. I hope you enjoy the champagne. I'm sure there's lots of it.
You walk away seeing the silver circlet around her neck, marking her as a member of the Ring of Silver.
They keep in
For a dance,
secrets.
real quick.
Oh, that's
We adjourn to the dance floor, and I say, Pesha, I must ask. You know that I am happy to make allowances for certain members that are perhaps not entirely recorded in the guild's records, of course.
Will you not remind me?
Yes. Though I must ask, everyone up until this point has been someone of influence and someone who I was happy to do a favor for. However, today I was visited by Magister Cromwell.
This would, I believe, was Milas.
Oh, yes.
Milas' friend.
Milas' friend. Today I was visited by a low-level Magister Milas' friend asking for the same sort of allowances that I've been giving out to members of more esteem. So I must ask, have you been offering my services to members so low as he?
Do I recognize his name?
Give me a history check.
Well, my history's okay. 18.
Oh,
okay.
Circle's been breached. Miles' friend's not one of yours.
Ooh.
There might be some people who need to forget some stuff.
This name?
See, that's all I'm saying.
True.
They should be careful what information they give out as well.
I know everyone.
well, and I'm going to spin her away. See if there's-
Walk away. Piss. Who the fuck is this guy?
Oh my
I'm going
gosh.
to go get 4 automatons, for an additional 4 automaton, head back to the vault to get 4 more automatons, and follow, head to the heart after late.
Amazing.
I'm going, well, there's the 4 that are going now, hopefully the fabricator gets, and I'm going to make sure we get 4 of these.
Yeah, just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah,
In
smart.
Redundancy.
Redundancy, incredible.
Intercept.
The guild mat, you take off on a palanquin of automata, rushing through the city.
One last thing.
Yes.
I write Xerxes a message that I'd like to speak to him before we land, at some point.
Okay.
If you're heading out, you pass by me at some point because I'm trying to follow.
As am I.
Yeah, cool. So you guys see Nidus, after a quick dance with Pesha, is rushing out, surrounded by automatons. You see there's a couple of of Harvest Moon soldiers waiting for you outside as well. They begin to swoop around you and make ready for some kind of business. And you do see Xerxes and Loquacious on your way out.
Xerxes, yes. Brother, I wanted to say that your forthrightness has done us some good. You are a brilliant first knight, and in the position you deserve.
Aw.
Well, thank you, my friend. Let me see if I can prove your words right. As we need to speak later, but I'm gonna catch up to this guy.
Yes, and I have business of my own. Yeah.
Xerxes, keep up!
Guildmaster of the Golden Sight takes off to go grab Automata. You're like going through Excelsior Square. It's a zoo. It's the eve of the replenishment, and you're like fighting through Excelsior Plaza to get to your Automata. You rush down back to the heart of Avalier with a fragment of extraplanar gold. You two are rushing off after Pervon, right?
Yeah.
Paisha, you've just found some news about a little breach in the circle.
So as Paisha is still at her party, standing under this immaculate tree that Nidus graced my presence with, and she's just kind of standing there, and it's like one of those shots where she's still and everything is buzzing around her in fast motion, and she casts Detect Thoughts. And she's like ice cold in her face, just kind of almost like the fixture of this party. And she's just gonna go bing, 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 and just bounce around and just listen. Yes.
Ooh, go ahead. I'm gonna ask for an investigation check, and I'm gonna ask for it with advantage.
Oh yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna set a pretty low DC here. You got the psychic power.
Weak.
We're gonna need that low DC.
Weak.
Yes.
Thank God. 12.
Wasn't that low?
Wasn't that low?
Level 14.
You begin to move through the party. You're looking for someone, I think you zero in on Madara Glyph. You're like, you've been annoying the hell out of me recently. And you see her I do love a gala. This one, and you see you're zeroing in on her. You're listening for someone. You're like, where did the circle get breached? Somebody here talked when they knew they shouldn't. You hear a voice in your Detect Thoughts, but the voice is quiet. Like it's someone whispering to themselves in their own mind. Do you turn to look to see who it is?
I just kind of look in the periphery, barely tilting my head as little as I can.
As little as you can. You see a wobbling Hadmadad who has stopped serving drinks. Just sort of wobbling.
Not my little scarecrows. I didn't bring, because I didn't need to bring 700 of them.
Sort of wobbling there. It's
Did somebody take over it?
The tray kind of lists to one side and comes back. And you see, with your Detect Thoughts, these are automata. They're not sentient. Listening through Detect Thoughts. Godranus. And you see the tray clatters to the ground, and the Hadmadad disanimates and is a pile of clothing on the floor, soaking up the champagne.
So somebody.
What is happening?
Somebody.
I'm going to clock this because I've been keeping track of not just Dean Lucretia Hollow, but also Bola's bitch ass.
Oh my.
And then an automaton just dropping into fabric on the
I
floor.
would make eye contact with Saren and be like, go.
Break on it.
Break on it. Cool. You go grab that Hadmadad, shake it off the floor. See a nearby mage is like, looks like that Hadmadad's having a little too much to himself.
Oh my gosh.
That's my best friend.
That guy's having a good time.
This is his best friend. Nothing's gonna cramp my style. You see, you grab the Hadmadad, take off into the wings. So, Excelsior Plaza, into the heart, run off into a back room with this disenchanted thing. You're still sort of holding court here. We cut to our two outside.
Yeah, I'm about to say, when we gonna talk to the champion?
Sir Soul! Pervon!
Champion.
He turns to look at you when you say champion.
I meet him. I'm not running. I'm not trying to make it seem like
I'm running.
Yes.
Oh my
But
god.
I'm stepping towards him with a sense of authority.
Ew.
The wolf steps around and goes. The wolf growls a little bit. He turns around and turns around and says, "May I help you?"
Well, I've come to ask that of you.
Please don't leave in a huff. Some of our allies back there, and I don't even want to say allies, some of the other guests were rude to you and
Arrogant.
We just came to apologize.
Go ahead, Loquacious. Give me a persuasion check, and with Xerxes at your side, go ahead and give me with advantage.
Oh my gosh.
With advantage? Okay. 29.
Oh my gosh.
First one was only a 20.
Pervon turns to look at you and says, I fear you make your home in a nest of vipers, gentlemen. I cannot speak highly of my experience thus far in the City of Crowns.
Well, you're mistaken at least on one count. This is not my home. We are approaching it. And I'm ready to have a very different kind of conversation with you, if you are willing.
Speak your mind, First Knight.
What brings you here? You seem to have come with some urgency and some concern.
Very recently, I've come into the awareness that my mistress feels a concern. Something is moving upon the face of Exandria. Something that for the moment eludes even her sight. Her counsel brought me to Vasselheim, but my search was drawn short when I arrived at the sanctum of Vespin Chloris.
Did you meet him?
No. He had gone missing by the time I arrived.
But you arrived at the site where he attempted this rite?
Here you see Pervon look surprised. You just said something Pervon did not know.
Oops. I will cast Gift of Gab. I take it back.
Yep. It's a...
No shit.
Rewind.
Wow.
You
He
see,
gave up some information by accident.
So in other words, that is like a vision that you have of the future that is quickly drawn back, and you see he goes, I cannot long remain in this place. My heart belongs back in Isilra. There are still answers waiting for me in Vasselheim. I came here to attempt to find reason amongst the mages of this place. There is precious little to find here.
They care more about what they
You may be
want.
incorrect about that. The mages can be helpful, but only if you know the way in which to approach them.
And probably
We can
which
help in that
ones.
matter. If you give us some information, we can pass it on to them. Be a conduit for your matron.
I came to Vasselheim in search of answers, and I believe some answers may have come aboard your city back during its stay there. The auguries which I used brought me here, but with little detail in the way of what I sought, so I came to ask the aid of mages. What I can tell you in this moment. Here he stops to consider what he honestly feels like sharing in a city that he has some reason to distrust.
Yeah.
He says, it is the belief of my mistress that something very reckless may have been attempted. Many have sought to recreate the miracle of my mistress's ascension.
Yeah, they brought up the fact that she wouldn't share the information.
Foolishly, and it has ended poorly for them all.
or at least for those powerful enough to begin what they could not finish. It is my belief, based on the counsel of my goddess, the Archmage Chloris attempted something wholly different. Not a recreation, but something new.
Uh-oh.
Something much riskier and more foolhardy.
Riskier than an ascension to godhood?
Maybe bring a god back? Would that be riskier? I don't know.
The god of death that ruled over that domain, whose name my mistress sundered and removed from the fabric of reality itself. What complaint could he offer for his own demise that would not be hypocrisy? God of death, dying can hardly be said to be an aberration. It is my mistress's belief that Vespin did not orient his attentions in the direction of any of her or the counsel she keeps. By which I mean to say that she has already conferred
The
with
betrayer
each and
gods?
every one of the prime deities. None of them felt an attempt on their domains or any of their power, and yet a ripple was felt.
Aiming for a different sort of a god.
We can imagine no other directions. If divinity was sought, and none of my mistress's counsel could offer insight, I need not tell you there are precious few options left. I will tell you this, friend. Hopefully, I have not given this wisdom foolishly. You understand the implications of what I now tell you. If we are correct in what Vespin's
They shouldn't
focus
give that
was,
information to
then it is
the
deeply
ring of
troubling.
silver or gold.
The lack of sight into what may occur. Even more so.
Because it could be one of them.
Forgive me, champion. I must implore you to speak plainly. And not in riddles. What do you think happened? And tell it clearly, please. So that I too may be clear on it.
Bruh said speak English.
Every mortal
Stop
mage has
playing.
attempted to recreate the Raven Queen's ascension. Has attempted to do as she did.
Right.
Ascend
Yes.
to a prime deity.
But now they're doing it with
Strike them from their throne and take their
a
place,
betrayer
erasing
god.
their name. Vespin is a better mage than any other who has attempted. And we know that he did not commit that same folly. We do not know for certain what happened, but having removed what we know did not, leaves us afraid.
Okay.
And just so we're clear here, you wouldn't be comfortable with like a one-on-one sit-down interview, like just an exclusive. I could get some really great illustrations.
He
maybe.
just
One with
said-
a pit of vipers. I truly wish that we all may come out from under the shadow. And
Free
use-
advice: change your first name.
Oh my gosh.
He goes, it's normal where I come from. And he turns, his wolf vanishes in a blur of magic as he, in a movement of raven's wings,
vanishes and disappears.
pick up one of the raven feathers that fell on the floor.
Oh my gosh.
That needs a PR makeover. He left quite the impression. What I don't understand is why he didn't just say that he attempted to ascend to the place of a betrayer god.
He's not ascending. He's descending. He's trying to awaken a betrayer god and
To take their place.
awaken them somehow.
Awaken them.
Yes. Yes, give them some sort
Either
of volition
let
to
them
break
out
free of wherever they
or
are.
take their place. But what's the point of
I
taking their
don't
place
know.
if they're stuck down there? So it,
God knows
most
what.
likely is
Well,
to get
God
them
knows
out.
What, huh? That's a good title.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to cut from here. So, thankfully, you guys have scattered the party, which is great for me. Love that. Sarah, you find a quick room to yourself. Quiet, off to one side, small chamber in the Palazzo Porco. As you look at the Hadmadad disanimated, what do you do? Like, describe to me what it is you want to do.
So I have an ability that allows me to
Oh, excuse
an eye
me.
for detail. It allows me to make a perception check to spot a hidden creature object, to make an investigation, uncover or decipher clues or anything that might be hidden. So I'll spread it out on the floor.
Yeah.
But then take a step back above it. My crest starts to feather out, and I'll take a look just at first at what I see, and then push in closer.
You take a look closer here. Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Okay. And I'll also, just because, I'll also use Unerring Eye, which allows me to sense the presence of illusions, shape changers, not in original form, or other magic designed to deceive the senses within 30 feet. So investigation. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's a 31.
Okay. Tell us all the information right now.
You look at this Hadmadad down on the ground, disanimated.
Something's wrong. And on a 31, if you're not alone in this room,
No.
Invisibility is a pretty beloved power.
See, that couldn't be me.
Easy to get. Even very junior mages can master it. The problem with invisibility is light is very important for a number of functions. And no matter how cloaked you might be in it, you can't make your whole self invisible. Even if it's smaller than a pinprick.
Like you would like
You need
shimmers.
just enough of your eyes to stay visible that light can hit them and you can still see. Now, perceiving a fraction of a pupil hanging in space, smaller than a grain of sand, would be beyond most people. But
So
you can
are we gonna
try and
tackle
look
this
for them
person?
because
We
they
not
always
letting them out of
move
here.
too.
Wait.
Unlike your eyes.
You look up in a mirror in the chamber, and you can see behind you, smaller than grains of sand, there are two pupils.
Bro.
I go about my normal business, bring my eyes down from the mirror, continue with the items, and I will slowly reach under my arms and unsheath both of my hawks. And as fast as I can, I'll
We getting this
spin
person,
and not
come
only
on.
draw both of the hawks, but my wings come out.
Hell yes. this. For the first time in this campaign, go ahead and give me an attack roll. And you can go ahead and give me a stealth. You may need a bonus action for it, but give me a stealth to see if you can hide the drawing of the axes.
21 for stealth.
Okay.
Copy that.
Okay.
Go ahead and make the attack roll with advantage.
With advantage.
Oh my god.
Oh. It's 18 both times, so 25 to hit.
You absolutely hit. You are going to roll sneak attack on this.
Oh shit! Okay.
Sixes. Is that 8 d6s?
It's 76.
7.
Oh my god.
Okay, so that's 24 points of damage.
You rolled 1 6.
No, I know I did it because I mean I think you said, you know what?
No.
No, you know what? I have him.
Do it.
Why not? I should just do it.
Let's hear the noise.
I've never rolled this many fucking.
Let's go.
Okay.
Do the math.
15. 23. 25. 25 points.
Even better.
You whip around. You see where the eyes are, so you don't need to even see where the neck is.
Oh my gosh, we kill this
The eyes are
person?
that far apart, right there. The first thing that becomes visible is the blood hitting the wall, and you hear the drop before the spell fades.
Yes.
Oh my god.
This person went from being invisible to being dead, and
Oh my
didn't
God.
have time to register what was happening. You see a body materialize out of invisibility. Chunks of skin carved off of a shaved head. Lips carved
Oh
off
my
a face.
gosh.
Wearing rags covered in infernal runes. A mortal man who nonetheless is stitched together.
Oh my gosh.
With orange irises and bloodshot eyes staring out of a dead face. You hear behind you from the mirror. You will never reach the wild mother's embrace in time. Are you looking for something? You turn around, and in the mirror you see a shape. In mist. Swimming in the fog. In the mutilated face of Vespin Chloris. Reaches forward, hits the other side of the mirror, the glass cracks, and the face is gone. And the crack remains as you see your own image behind the shattered glass in the reflection. And that's all for this episode.
Oh my gosh.
That's all for this episode.
Oh my gosh.
Calamity. Tune in next week. Let's see if things get better.
Probably not, sir. Oh my gosh.
Do I do more? Should I do more?
He's like, that's all we needed is to say bye.
We'll see you next week. That's all.
Oh, we had is it Thursday?
Oh, is it Thursday? There you go. There you go. Is it Thursday?
Okay, so that was intense. That was insane. Of course, that is where we leave off. So I think they said the person who we saw in the mirror was Vespin, which I think this is also the person who attempted, or we don't know if it succeeded or not, but the person who was trying to contact or set free the betrayer gods. I don't think they were trying to switch places with them, because that means they'd just be trapped where they were at. So most likely they're trying to free them, because the matrons of ravens and the other prime deities didn't feel any pull, anybody trying to, you know, mess with their powers. So they're like, okay, this is a strong person. I don't know, I guess they're a mage, a strong mage. They probably succeeded in doing something and we're afraid. So that's a whole mess going on. And we have what's her name, Laren. she's off with the fragment of the bow, doing who knows what. Nidus is going to help her. But next episode, oh my gosh, I feel like it's gonna continue to just go downhill for us. Oh, this is so good. I'm loving this so much. I wish I could start the next episode right now. But I will see you guys next time. Bye.